Hello everyone and welcome to Trackside with Tom. This is episode number 52 of Trackside with Tom. I'm very happy to have everyone here with us today. I am talking to you as the owner and operator of Steel Highway Railcams. And we're hosting alone today, or I'm hosting alone today, but I'm absolutely looking forward to anybody that has any sort of timestamps that they want to share. I've got a fairly relaxed agenda for today's episode, so go ahead and make sure and let people know that we have that we're looking for any sort of timestamps that people want to share, things to check out. As we begin here, actually, the very first thing that I saw was that Austin Hamilton mentioned that the 261 going by the Muscatine camera. And we're just going to jump right into it here. We have the 261 going north through the downtown Muscatine riverfront. And as you can see, it's got an F unit there in the consist. That's one of those Canadian Pacific F units that I believe had been at Albia getting worked on or repainted or something, and is going back up to Minnesota now to be paired back up with the other F units that are on the CP roster for their Royal Canadian Pacific business train. So we have the 261 going north, and as we see that, we've got ATSF, that's Austin, Barry up in Butler Junction, Santa Fe Man, John below, A-Train, Alan Hunt. We got a good story from Alan Hunt today. I'm looking forward to sharing that here in a little bit. And Ian up in Minnesota, Daniel Swanson. Thank you everyone for tuning in. We got 18 people tuned in live right now. For those of you that are interested, we actually had a record-setting performance Wednesday night with the episode that was geared toward the CPKC merger, which was announced in the morning on Wednesday. And as I was doing the course of that broadcast, I went back and looked. We had 78 people online. So thank you everyone for tuning in. Luke down in Memphis, riveted rail fan, good to see you. Oh, it looks like we've got a rebuild there in the middle of the consist. That's interesting for the DPU. So a CP rebuild and a long string of auto racks here in the middle of the train as well. John Welsh, hello, how are you doing? So everyone, we're here with Trackside with Tom today, and this is the Muscatine riverfront. We have the Muscatine Merrill Hotel is our host, providing this fantastic view of downtown Muscatine. We have some barge traffic there today also. I know we haven't talked much about it, but the barge traffic is in fact moving on the upper Mississippi River again. This might be the first example that we've talked about on air anyway. Yes, a very clean DPU as well. John Welsh is in Chattanooga, Tennessee. Steve Evans in Oklahoma, hello. Alan Hunt, yes, those timestamps at West Liberty. We're absolutely going to look at that. And Alan, if you don't mind, I'm going to share the story that you emailed me this morning. So just pop a note into the chat here and let me know that it's okay to share that story on air. Former Mac, that's right, a CP rebuild. Probably coming back from the photo shoot in Kansas City. There's Zach Bovitz. That could be. Yes, that could very well be. All right, so now that the 261 is by, we're actually going to go over to Mills Tower. We have not actually checked out Mills Tower recently, and there is, in fact, it looks like a meet going on at the Mills Tower right now. We're going to back this up a little bit and see what the head-end power was. But I had ATCS open looking at the Waterloo sub, and sure enough, there was a northbound lined up, and there's a southbound, it looks like, in the siding. Could be the local work in the siding, too. So we have got, oh, look, there's a UPSD70 and an SD70 Ace and an SD40N. We got all kinds of good stuff, and a GE leading. We've got these containers on the head end, which I believe these are containers that are being set out at Manly for the Iowa Northern as part of their reload operation. There's a couple of gondolas full of ties. That's interesting. Those look like scrap ties, honestly. And some CNW hopper there, too. Let's see here. Alan Hunt, have at it. Absolutely. This is a good story. Yes, MNPAL. I think that you're probably correct on that. Stacks for East Minneapolis. Well, some of those, maybe I'm wrong. Some of those could be containers going to interchange to the Iowa Northern also. What do we have here? I'm not familiar though. Where is NPAL? So North Platte to, I guess I don't know where the AL station comes from. 17 trains a day through Washington in 3 years. Yes, they're already talking about the new service that they're going to try to kick off in the, basically as soon as the merger is finalized on the 14th or 15th of April. So, Trucker Kev the paid tourist. Yes, that's a good question. Altoona, Wisconsin. There you go. Yes, Altoona, Wisconsin. Thank you. So, as we roll this guy by, we are going to back up a little further. I don't know if Tyler is on here or not, but I'd like to back up for a timestamp and check out what the local power is here at Iowa Falls. We have not seen that recently, so I wanted to check up and see if they had swapped out that local power here in the not too distant past. Yes, Altoona, Wisconsin. Thank you. Thank you everyone for tuning in with that. 25 people online. Good to see everyone here. We're warming up a little bit in eastern Iowa. It's supposed to hit 50 degrees here this particular Monday as we get towards the end of March. And we're looking for hopefully a little better summer weather coming up in the near future here. And I'm looking at ATCS right now for the Waterloo sub, and it does not look like that this southbound train... Oh, they have reversed the switch, so we are going to get a meet. So something's coming out of the siding. This northbound is rolling by. We're a little bit behind real time here. Yes, just east of Minneapolis on the former C&W Main, Chicago to Minneapolis, St. Paul. Yes, former Omaha Road Main as well. We also have a Iowa Northern train, it looks like, that may be coming up on Cedar Falls Junction that we can check out at some point here during the course of the program as well. UP Twin Cities service area. Good to know. I do appreciate having all of the information that people share in the chat, so thank you for that. One of the things I want to mention while we're rolling... Oh, there's one of those ex-Amtrak boxcars that we see floating around still floating around in revenue service. That's interesting. All right. One of the things I do want to get to a little bit later is I'm in the process of kicking off a company store on YouTube, and we'll look at that a little bit later. But the company store right now on YouTube only has the hats. I believe that's a load of telephone poles that just went by on that stake-sided flat car. And the company store, I want to eventually get all of the magazines listed there as well. But for the moment, we do have the hats that are available on the company store. So thank you everyone that has already ordered a hat. Some of you I know ordered the hat along with your subscription when you renewed for the year. So thank you for that. You can also go to steel-highway.com and you can order hats there as well. But it is kind of nice to have it connected to the YouTube channel so people can easily see it. William, good to see you. CMO, yes, we still see the CMO reporting marks. The UP has actually resurrected the CMO reporting marks on some of their covered hoppers I've seen running around. But yes, Chicago, Minneapolis, and Omaha. Yep. And William, I believe if this is the right person that I'm thinking of, he is associated with the West Liberty Depot. Next month on your birthday. Well, yes, happy birthday. Have a hat. I think that these Tilex hoppers are, I don't know if these are sand hoppers or they could be cement hoppers. There's quite a bit of cement traffic that goes through Mason City as well. So there's the rear of our northbound train. And now if we skip ahead to live, we should see a southbound coming off of the siding basically any moment now. And I do want to tell everybody that, yes, the steel-highway.com is where you can order the magazines. You can go ahead and, oh, here it comes. Coming right around the, oh, no, sorry, that was a car. Well, we can hear him whistling. There's a crossing just out of view to the north. Could hear him whistling for that. And now we should see some headlights here momentarily. So yes, steel-highway.com is your location, your website you can go to order the Steel Highway magazine, or you can order individual issues. You can subscribe for the whole year. All right, this does look like this is our local, our Iowa Falls local. And he is coming south. And what do we have here? Do we have a Jeep 60 there? And a Jeep 60 and a Jeep 38, it looks like. Somebody will have to verify that for me. But I think that if my eyes do not deceive me, that was in fact a UP Jeep 60 and a UP Jeep 38 that just went across the diamonds. So this was our Iowa Falls UP local, taking cars from the Argonne siding where they're switching cars and switching their customers up there, and now heading back for the Iowa Falls yard where they will also go to interchange. This is a very long local today. They must be making a trip down to, making a trip down to Cargill. Oh, Jeep 60 and a Jeep 40-2. Okay, sorry, not a Jeep 38, Jeep 40 and a Jeep 60. Thank you. And with the baby wings as well, that's right. So yeah, I think that these guys, with all these hoppers that they're coming out with, I think they must be going down to, or staging cars to go down to Cargill. So we got a meet at Iowa Falls. What do we have here? NS Duo westbound at Grand Mound 1146. Ooh, that's interesting. All right. Well, the next thing we're going to do is we are going to jump over, we are going to jump over to West Liberty because we have something that I found just fascinating that Alan Hunt emailed me this emailed this story to me this morning, and I felt like this is exactly the sort of thing that Steel Highway is here for, right? We are, in fact, providing a service to the railroads, and you're going to find out exactly how that happens today. We're going to go back to, where was Alan Hunt's message? CBBI, BICB 0929 at West Liberty. All right, so we're going to jump back to 9:29 this morning.
0901 PJF.
We're getting a track warrant there. So the scanner radio is working. That's good to know. We're going to jump ahead just a little bit and find the actual train. The Mills Tower camera is hosted by the Iowa Falls Historical Society, so thank you to them for allowing us to put in a webcam at the last interlocking tower in the state of Iowa, Mills Tower. Here we go. So here's 929, and here comes our BICB, the Blue Island to Council Bluffs train, core westbound on the Iowa Interstate. And we are here at the former Rock Island Passenger Depot in West Liberty, Iowa, being hosted by the West Liberty, is it the West Liberty Historical Society? Well, anyway, so we're going to see this westbound go by the West Liberty camera, and we can see that he's got a pair of GEVOs in the lead. Pretty common anymore, road power for the Iowa Interstate. But apparently, so this train originates in Chicago on the Iowa Interstate, but they have trackage rights to access their yard, which is at Burr Oak. And I think that it just flew by here. We're going to have to back up just a little bit. We're going to let this play. There it is. So this train is put together with some of the interchange that comes off of the IHB, comes from the CRL, comes from different railroads, the CSX and the NS, and it all gets built together into a train at Blue Island. Well, it turns out that this car, which is apparently some kind of a hazardous load. I can see the placard down there on the lower right, but I can't tell what it is. So this car is a hazardous load, and the IHB claims that they did not deliver it to the Iowa Interstate. Now, I'm guessing it went by a couple of car readers, and that's where the Iowa Interstate was first alerted to it. But then Alan Hunt, doing his due diligence, got the video footage of the car going by West Liberty and emailed it to his counterpart at the Indiana Harbor Belt, and then they said, oh yeah, I guess we must have given you that car. And so now they get to charge the IHB for an errant delivery. Bar yard, there we go, yes. Bar yard in Blue Island. There's some NS coil cars, yes. So they get to charge the IHB for an error delivery, which is on a hazmat load that's made it all the way to West Liberty. And in addition to all of that, I told Alan when I responded to his email that, oh, well, finder's fee, right? Because you found it and you were able to charge him because of my camera. So I want a 20% finder's fee. But I don't think that's going to end up going anywhere. So that's our amusing Iowa Interstate story this morning. So thank you, Alan Hunt, for sharing that with us. Michael Richmond is on here. Hello, Michael Richmond. So there goes the rear of our BICB. We're going to back up a little bit further and we will roll by CBBI as well. Since we're here, we're going to go back to find the CBBI, which I don't even know. Maybe they made a Walcott meet this morning because they went by here within an hour of each other. Twin States or Walcott meet maybe. 8:13. So we're going to go back about an hour. A little bit further. You can see the shadows are a little bit longer, but we do have we do have some daylight here earlier in the mornings now with the longer days that we're getting. So here is our eastbound Iowa Interstate, and he's got a single GEVO leader and lots of empty GONs here on the head end. Looks like long string of empty GONs here on the head end. North Star meet this morning. All right. I figured there wasn't enough time in between these two for them to get all the way down to Moline or Rock Island and make a meet. So, it had to be one of the two. Either Walcott or North Star. Which I still think... You've got the decline stamper ready for when the invoice shows up. That's awesome. There's some empty well cars, some coil cars that went by, and a long string of empty well cars here on the end. We're apparently repositioning equipment to move more intermodal at some point in the future. And then some more manifest coming up here on the rear, some tankers. What kind? Is that an IHB? I couldn't tell for sure. Some CSX coil cars. Those do look kind of sharp with the blue and the yellow stripes and yellow lettering. And some more tanks. And probably some grain hoppers. Grain traffic here coming up, bringing up the rear with some Iowa Interstate company cars mixed in. And we have a DPU on the rear also. So we're not running this train conventional, we're running one by one. So a GE on the head end and a GE on the rear. Happy Equinox Day. Is that today? Seriously? Today is the 12 hours of daylight and 12 hours of sunshine? Or night? I didn't even realize that. Well, thank you for pointing that out. Alright. So, we've had a couple of roll-bys here on the Iowa Interstate. 8 engines leading a mixed freight at BNSF Ottumwa at 10:52. Interesting. All right. That might be something to check out as well. So let's go ahead and jump over to Grand Mound, and we will look into the Grand Mound webcam and the timestamp that we're looking for. Who shared the timestamp? Ian, 11:46. So, as we back up, we are looking for a pair of NS motors leading what's probably an ethanol train, if I had to guess, that they just ran the power through on it. So what do we got here? Westbound, there's our NS motors, yep. This foreign power on the UP, it's a nice change of pace, that's for sure. So, the empty ethanol train, I don't know if we have anybody that's aware of the destination for this empty ethanol train, but there's definitely a pair of NS motors running west on the UP Clinton sub right now for anybody that would want to go out and chase that. Coil car was a stenciled GRW. Interesting. All right. So, as we roll by our empty ethanol train that's heading west, I do want to thank everybody for tuning in. We got 30 people in here watching us right now. So, thanks everyone for checking out Trackside with Tom. Definitely appreciate it. And we need to make sure and keep telling people about Trackside with Tom as well, because this is a really neat thing that we've got going, and I really enjoy the interaction with being able to talk to people and watch trains go by and get information, share information that we otherwise wouldn't have access to. It really is just a fascinating little coalition of people that we've built here. All right, and a buffer car on the rear so they can run helper service or run DPUs on it as well. That is interesting. All right, we're going to back up a little further, get another roll by off of Grand Mound. I don't know how much further back we're going to have to go, but I am going to look nonetheless. And it does seem like it may have been, oh, wait, I think we found an auto-rack train. Yep, we're going to, oh, we got to go back a little bit further here. So, let's see what we have got for power leading. Oops, that's too far. There we go. Let's see what we've got. Any other foreign leaders out there, Alan? Yeah. For Hartley, Iowa, UENUVW. Interesting. So that ethanol train actually is going to show up. So the UP has trackage rights on the Canadian Pacific Sheldon sub. As we have our eastbound approaching now. Eastbound also running on the wrong main. Got a single GE for a leader. And there's a KCS fallen flag now. Anyone that's looking to submit photos for the next issue of Steel Highway, you can, we're looking for fallen flags, and there's a KCS with the small logos on it. We're looking for fallen flags and heritage units, so the KCS definitely counts as a fallen flag now. And we'll be happy to consider any of those, any of those KCS photos for the next issue. Eastbound lined up on the BNSF St. Croix sub to Sullivan. All right, well, that's good to know. So, as we're rolling this guy by, I just want to make sure that, oh yes, the Valero plant there at Hartley. Right. So we were talking about how the UP accesses Hartley off of trackage rights from the Canadian Pacific. So they actually go up to Emmitsburg, Iowa, and then get on the Canadian Pacific Sheldon sub via, there's a Conrail, that's another fallen flag, and another Conrail as well. They get on the CP Sheldon sub at Emmitsburg and then run through Spencer over to Hartley. And they have this one elevator and ethanol plant that they still service over in Hartley. So Hartley was a location where they were, it was Rock Island and Milwaukee Road, and the CNW inherited the line from the Rock Island trustee, but then eventually they truncated the line but maintained the trackage rights. So that is where AMICH out of Milpitas, California to Chicago. All right. Well, that's good to know. Okay, next we are going to jump over to Cedar Falls Junction. And, and this thank you to the city of Grand Mound for allowing us to have the webcam there at the Grand Mound Depot. So we're going to jump over to Cedar Falls Junction now. And the Cedar City Creamery is in fact open. And it looks like, this is an Iowa Northern train, it looks like they're stopped for some reason here. We're going to have to back up and see what's going on. This is fascinating to me. I don't know that I've ever seen a train stopped at Cedar Falls before. All right. So we can hear him whistling coming up, and I'm looking at ATCS. I can see that he's lined up the Iowa Northern at Cedar Falls Junction. Hello, Tyler. We actually already were at Mills Tower this morning. We checked out the local power there. So we've got a couple of slugs and a couple of the barns, the Iowa Northern barns that are running on this particular, I believe this would be a Waterloo to Butler train. And we see that they are, in fact, I can't really make out the radio traffic very well. But we can definitely tell that the number of grain hoppers that are on here is what makes me think that this is a train going to Butler. And these guys are slowing down quite a bit. I don't know exactly what the story is. Oh, did he just lose his air? Yeah. That's what happened. He lost his air, and that's why they're stopping. So that is interesting. That big whoosh was the losing the air, which is when all the air brakes set up through the whole train. So he lost his air going across here. I don't know what happened. And he hasn't gotten on the radio and declared an emergency. So the conductor's probably just out here walking the train, seeing what happened. If we go to live, we're going to see that this guy is still sitting here blocking. Is it possible to put ATCS on your webcam as like a small split screen? No, it's not. That is actually a violation of the terms of service for ATCS, so that is not something that we're going to be doing. Well, we might have to come back to this. I'm curious to know now what the resolution is going to be to this particular scenario with the train stopped and losing his air going across the CN. But in the meantime, we were given a timestamp for Trempealeau, so we're gonna go ahead and check that out next. And as I jump over to Trempealeau, I wanted to check out Manly today also because we actually have Manly back online and Carroll back online. So we're going over to Trempealeau. Now, for the whoever was saying this, we were talking about the La Crosse road switch. Do we know if that's been by Trempealeau yet? Because when I open up I'm going to open up the St. Croix sub. There's a high rail going by. This is live at Trempealeau that we're looking at, by the way. And he's stopping and he's backing up a little bit. So it does look like that there is an eastbound that should be very close and coming up to the camera basically any moment now. I do not see any westbounds unless it's, well, I guess the westbound could still be down there. But let's see here. We didn't miss him, did we? No. Nothing's gone by yet. So we're waiting for an eastbound to show up at Trempealeau. And this track inspector, we're going to watch him. Yeah. He's just rolling by right now. Track inspector doing his thing. La Crosse. Yeah, he definitely got out of the high rail to check something. La Crosse West Local on approach to Trempe. Yes. So that is what we're looking for. There's an NS in the area also. Well, I believe that was that pair of NS units that went by on the empty ethanol train for Hartley that we saw earlier. Now, what are we getting? Let's see here. I do not see. Guess he just needed to take a quick look. Iowa Northern got moving again before 12:33. Okay, well, it must not have been too serious. And, oh, here comes our La Crosse road switch. And I believe that this is the train that we were looking for. As he gets down here closer, it looks like a short train coming around the curve. And I believe that he has a war bonnet leading. So what have we got here? Oh yeah, a little shorty. He is cruising right through. Oh yeah, he's got a pair of war bonnets. One's still in Santa Fe. Is that the same power that came down on this Northtown to La Crosse train a couple days ago? Yeah, and then all BNSF hoppers. That was worth it. Westbound ethanol at East Dubuque. CSX, B Coal, and CN at 9:39. All right. Well, that'd be something to check out also, definitely. There is another train that's at East Winona right now that's following this road switcher. And I do want to... We should be able to back up. It looks like that there's another train that's another eastbound that's just down by Sullivan now. We may be able to back up and find him not too far in the past as well. And I think that he may have had some interesting power. Oh yeah, look at this. Look at all this snow. I'm going to pause this right here. So he's got a war bonnet back here. We've got a BNSF H2, and then the second and third units are just covered in snow. And I don't know how far north or west those came from, but that's pretty impressive. The amount of snow that's piled up on these. And then we've also got the BNSF 751 there, fourth out. So I felt like that consist was worth taking a look at also. Taking the switch at CP 3154. All right. So, as we roll this guy by, I don't know if anybody has a train symbol for this one, but lots of ABE KCK. All right. I'm guessing, yes, that they added a new leader because you probably couldn't get out the front doors of those locomotives. They were so badly snowed in. You might not have been able to get out any of the doors of those locomotives. So, yeah, they probably added a new leader somewhere en route that they got, because they would have gotten hammered coming through the blizzard in North Dakota or Minnesota, that area. Got a load of lumber, but some of the coverings for the lumber was all peeled away. And then we have an H2 DPU going by. Aberdeen, South Dakota to Argentine Yard in Kansas City. Thank you. All right. So now that we've got that, that was what I was looking for there. Hello to all 40 people that are tuned in watching with us live today. Thank you for tuning in to Trackside with Tom. And we are now we will jump over to East Dubuque. And we will look for this East Dubuque, East Dubuque, East Dubuque. Here we go. East Dubuque. we're looking for a westbound, so we're looking at the west camera at East Dubuque. And this is going to be 9:39 this morning. That had a BC rail unit in there. A little too early, 8:14. Jumped back a little too far, but we'll get there. All right, 9:14. We need 9:39. And we're getting so close. 9:31. And what do we have over here next? Just a few minutes further. All right. Now, so we've got a CSX leader followed by a Blue Devil BC rail, not a Blue Devil, sorry, a Blue BC rail unit, unpatched, and then a CN SD70 Ace, it looks like. So, and this is a empty ethanol train. Do we know the destination for this particular empty ethanol train? We have anybody out here that has some intel on that? Yes. So the East Dubuque, you know, just didn't have the budget for putting up any PTZ cameras. But there are cameras facing each direction, partly because, I mean, looking west to me is really the better angle for watching trains. But sometimes trains get parked just to the east of here. So I wanted to have cameras facing both ways so we could see what's going on in both directions. And then the reason this guy's going so slow, of course, is because he's going through the East Dubuque Tunnel to then cross the Mississippi River and head into Iowa toward the Dubuque side. So we are not going to spend the time to roll by this entire empty ethanol train, but something else that we may see moving across the system, if you want to check out the Dubuque cameras, you want to check out Cedar Falls Junction or Iowa Falls, it's going to go by all of those later in the day. U703 from Marcus, Iowa. All right. I realize I did miss one. This Z, is that seriously? CHCSSE at Trempealeau with a fake bonnet leader. I mean, don't the crews have to call that the Z cheese? Wouldn't that be the way you would pronounce that train symbol, is the Z cheese? We'll jump back over here quick and look at Trempealeau. Oops. I don't know what I clicked on the wrong thing there. And we're going to go back to 8:54 this morning. All right. 8:54. There's 7:30. Went back too far. Jump ahead a bit. 8:31. And 8:53 and 20 seconds. We're going to watch this. I believe that we have if I have the right timestamp here, we're going to see a westbound pop up here on the screen any moment now. And he is going to be headed toward, so going away from the camera is going towards St. Paul. Going toward the camera is toward La Crosse and then down to Chicago on the Aurora sub. And while we're doing this, I just want to remind everybody, please check out steel-highway.com and order a magazine if you haven't already. Or make sure and tell your friends about it. Anybody that likes a good railroad magazine with lots of fantastic photos. Oh, I think I hear him coming now. There is your war bonnet leader and a Z train. So we've got JB Hunt and Amazon and Swift, but we would expect to see some trailers on flat cars at some point as well, since this is a Z train. And Schneider trailers, FedEx, yeah. Express. There's our roadway in yellow and ABF. There's the trailers on flat cars. KLLM. This guy is cruising right through here. And as we roll this guy by, yes, just make sure and tell all your friends about steel-highway.com. There's some more trailers on flat cars, ABFs and extras and single stacks, Alliance. I haven't seen any UPS in here yet, but it wouldn't surprise me to see it. Some Martin mechanical reefers going by. And ABF, FedEx Express, JB Hunt. Yes, quite a few of these. So, as we... Oh, I think we have a DPU coming. 2 DPUs on the rear. All right. Well, there goes our high priority Z train by Trempealeau. And we're going to jump ahead to live because I think that there... Yeah, look at this. We got another Z train going by. Going by the other direction. We're going to skip back here just a little bit and watch the head end go by. But, again, the beauty of ATCS to be able to find these and know when trains are coming. So here comes our eastbound Z train. We'll see what his leader is. But as this guy approaches, you know, make sure and tell your friends about Trackside with Tom because we have a lot of fun here. Oh, this is the counterpart, the SSE CHC. Is that Seattle's? Is that what that, South Seattle, is that what that SSE is? We got BNSF, just the standard kind of BNSF power, nothing too particularly special about it. And again, lots of the same loading, which makes sense as this is the counterpart. Amazon, JB Hunt, Schneider trailers. South Seattle, yeah, that's what I would have guessed. Some of these trailers have had the markings painted over on them. I'm fascinated to know what's going on with that. Some yellow trailers. And if you look here in the foreground also, these concrete culverts or bridge pieces, whatever they are. There was a UPS trailer going that way. And this guy's a little bit shorter. We already got the DPUs coming into view. So as we get here, we are already at the rear of the train. It does look like they had a EMD, some EMD power there on the rear. So it'll be interesting to see what we've got, or when the BNSF starts this project. They've got ties laid out. They've got these concrete bridge pieces laid out here, ready or stacked up and ready to go somewhere. So, yeah. It'll be interesting to see this summer what kind of progress the BNSF makes with these track projects that they've clearly got laid out for the St. Croix sub. So, we're going to jump over to Manly because we have not been able to do any sort of highlights off of Manly recently. Thank you, by the way, Zane Smith. I don't know if he's on here or not, but thank you to Zane. He lives up in Mason City, and he drove up to Manly to re-aim the camera last week, and now we have a Manly camera again. I know, that sounds like a bad dad joke, right? But we're going to go back through... We're going to go back through the Manly history here and find, you know, sometimes it is pretty hit and miss with when these trains show up. We're going to check out Manly and we're going to check out Carroll as well, because both of these we literally just got running again last week after some extended outages. All right, so here comes the UP going south on the Albert Lee sub toward Mason City, and it does appear couple of the big flags and wings on the sides of the units here. We got a GE leader and an SD70 coming up second. Kind of crawling through here. Yellow is shutting down their distribution center in Milwaukee. That's interesting. This guy is not moving particularly fast, but we can see that we've got some loads of lumber products probably coming out of Minnesota or Wisconsin. If I had to guess, I would say that this is probably an ITDM type of train. Yeah, Grinnell is back online. Yes, we got that back online last week, and it is operating once again. So thank you for the question, Michael. If anyone has any other questions here, feel free to throw them in the comments. We're going to roll by at least some of this ITDM. And I think that because we usually don't get the Iowa Northern during the day up here in Manly, but I am curious to see how far back do I have to go to find another train by this camera. So as I go back further, we get to see that I'm going back quite a ways. Now maybe I'm going too fast and I'm missing. Nope, there we go. There's another one. This guy is kind of crawling down there also. And we've got some more loads here of lumber. I am gonna assume that this is an ITDM train, unless somebody has some better information that they'd like to share. We're gonna jump back 3 hours, and here, this is really the catch of the day here. The local going back into Mason City, and as we're looking here, we've got 3 Jeeps going by the camera. 3 Jeep 60s even, I believe. Oh, ITPS. Okay, for Carson, Kansas. Well, that's fine. All right. Train's gonna probably go through Des Moines to get there, but I'm not gonna take credit for that. I can admit when I'm wrong. But this is the local heading back into Mason City. So yeah, Jeep, baby. That is absolutely right. 3 Jeeps leading the way southbound through Manly on the Albert Lee sub. IT is Itasca. So that's the station that the UP accesses that via trackage rights up in the Duluth Superior area. Their station is what they call Itasca. And, all right. How much traffic goes through through Oskaloosa on the old Emmons St. L line to Eddyville? Basically one train a day. Basically one train a day is the answer to that. And they are based out of Marshalltown, and they make round trips down to Oskaloosa. All right, we are going to. Is there a cam of the main line that runs through Wisconsin but in Iowa, or same with the CP? Are you talking about the UP Adams sub, or are you talking about the CP Toma sub through La Crosse? I'm not sure exactly which line that you're referring to. Oh. All right. We're going to jump over here to Carroll, because this is another one that we have recently reacquired. Want to show some love to the Carroll Chamber of Commerce. Thank you to the Sabin family for the hosting the webcam at Manly, which is where we just were. It's at the Manly Junction Museum. And we need to skip back here a little ways and find a train by Carroll. I really do like this angle that we have at Carroll because it really does kind of make the trains pop right out at you as they run by the camp. Here we go. Here we go. And here comes a eastbound on the UP. This is out in the Boone sub in Carroll, Iowa. We're hosted by the Carroll Chamber of Commerce here. And we have another auto rack train going by. I don't know if this is another auto rack train from the same originating point. But, all right, so the CP Toma sub. No, I do not have any cameras on the CP Toma sub. And I do not have any cameras on the UP Adams sub. No. And there are no cameras out there in that direction. The cameras that Steel Highway has in Wisconsin are at Trempealeau, which is the BNSF St. Croix sub, and then Stevens Point and Neenah, which is on the CN. Stevens Point is on the CN Superior sub, and Neenah is on the CN Waukesha sub. Or, sorry, the CN Neenah sub. The Waukesha sub is further south. I apologize. So this does look like another solid auto rack train, but this one going by Carroll, so quite a ways further west. Yeah, another AMICH. That's what I thought. And this was a station in California on the old WP where these originate. So send in my photo for the issue of the magazine. Thank you, Ian. Always appreciate that. Anybody that wants to submit photos are obviously welcome to. We're always happy to have more photos submitted, and I try to, obviously the more photos that are submitted, then the more I have to choose from, but here comes the DPU, and that is the end of our second MICH train of the day. So apparently the UP is moving quite a bit of auto traffic. Yes, always open to find new locations. Just have to find a possible host. That's right. And we're going to jump back a little bit further on Carroll. Traffic at the Mills Tower Diamond, T Reaper 5. So we actually have a train log going. It's quite accurate out there at the Mills Tower, and so that you get maybe 12 to 15, maybe as many as 20 moves a day on the UP on a good day. And that's the north and south line. And then on the east and west line, which is the CN, you get 2 moves a day for sure, 570 and 571, which are the locals that operate between Waterloo and Fort Dodge. And then you get extras like that ethanol train that we saw going through East Dubuque earlier. That will go by Mills Tower at some point as well. So this time we have a westbound and also running on the wrong main going through Carroll. And it seems like that we have some buffering issues here. There's some Walmart containers going by. So I don't know why we had these buffering and connection issues, but it looks like this was a stacks and racks train is what we're talking about here, where auto racks and double stacks. So not sure what was going on exactly But this train, while this train was going by, apparently there's a KCS auto rack. Oh, and we have some manifests on the rear too. So this is actually a PSR special right here. It's a little bit of everything. So yeah, T Reaper, I would tell you that make sure and check out the train log at Mills Tower, because that actually has a really good indication of the traffic that goes through that area. So let's see here if we can get a little better roll by. That was the Alan Hunt. That's the PRNP. So Proviso, which is Chicago, yard in Chicago, Proviso to North Platte, Nebraska. So thank you for that information, Alan. Always appreciate it. And hopefully we're going to get a little smoother roll by this time. Yeah, look at that. This is the way the camera's supposed to work. Got a CSX. There's a lot of power here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, I think. 7 engines going by. Duluth, Minnesota area, though. Glen Park Yard area to Parsons, Kansas. Hello, Stephen Kern. Good to see you. So this is a westbound by Carroll, Iowa, and we're just kind of here, you know, celebrating the fact that we got these cameras back online, got everything working again. So, thank you to everyone for tuning in today. And make sure and check out steel-highway.com. ALNP. All right. So, as we talked about earlier, this is AL. Oh, why am I spacing this off now? But NP is North Platte again. So this is the Wisconsin to North Platte train. And it sounds like we have a DPU going by, pretty ratty looking. So thank you everyone for tuning in today. Always appreciate it. Always hope that everybody learns a little something when you tune in. Find out some train symbols, find out some operating stuff out in the field here and on the various webcams. And make sure and check out steel-highway.com to order the Steel Highway magazine, order ball cap, just lots of important ways that you can help support the channel. Altoona, Wisconsin, there we go, yes, Altoona. For some reason I had Adams stuck in my head because we were talking about the Adams sub, but I knew that wasn't right. So, Altoona, Wisconsin to North Platte, Nebraska. So, again, thank you everyone, and we will see you around next time. We'll be back on 1 week from today at noon Central, next Monday. Thank you for watching Trackside with Tom.